Hey, and welcome back again. Welcome to the Guild Fortress. My name's Guildford, and we're playing the pack Passive Kingdoms, but it's not that passive anymore. Between last episode and this, I did a few things while I was thinking about, okay, I said, let's go on an adventure, but isn't an adventure pretty boring if there's like no dangers ahead? So I disabled the mod passive mobs, and that means everything is back like it is in vanilla Minecraft. Everything is aggressive towards me and towards the villagers. So because of that, I changed a few things in the colony, and let me give you a brief overview what has happened. First of all, I upgraded all the guard towers. This one over here, this one, and the one over here as well. To get all of that done, I invested a little bit of time and got a second builder's hut built. So we down here have a second builder, and say hi to Nicholas. Nicholas is the new apprentice of Antonella, and they will work hand in hand, getting new buildings up and old buildings better. You can also see there's a new residence here and a new residence over here, which is just in the process of getting upgraded by Nicholas, it seems. Yes, exactly. You can see hard at work. Yeah, so while being on the topic of upgrading things, our restaurant has reached level 2 and is just in the process of getting to level 3. And last but not least, down here in our cave, you can see we have 2 new courier's hut. One currently level 1, which will not long be the case. I'm going to upgrade this as well. And last but not least, our sawmill also has reached level 3, which allows me to store a lot more recipes. If I take a look here, we have now a total of 40 recipes I can save. And you can also see I put in quite a few recipes already, which actually takes care of a lot of the stuff that is needed in the colony currently. And if anything else comes as a request that requires wood, I'll just add it to the sawmill and don't have to take care of that anymore. So, with this out of the way, our colony is safer than ever and structurally a little bit more organized. The next step in regards of safety is definitely to build a barracks, because that increases the amount of guards we can have by up to 20 at level 5, which is amazing. But for now, I want to dive into the deep dark. There's a few things related to iron spells and spellbooks that can only be found there, and I really would like to get my hands on a few eldritch spells. So, before we get down there, and I'm pretty sure behind me in the mountains somewhere, and I mean, the mountains are pretty big, somewhere there has to be an ancient city. No way there's none. So, before we get down there, I would like to get a little bit more prepared. Currently, we're running the Scarecrow set of armor, which is okay. I think it's somewhere between iron and diamond level, and it has some occasional enchantments. And we do have our Artificer's Cane, which we have a lot of spell power with. But I'm missing a few utility things, like I'd like to have a little bit of night vision so you can see more clearly. I would like to have a light spell, more or less. And I do have a mod that allows me to get exactly that very, very easily. So let's take a look at Ars Noveau. To get started with Ars Noveau, we need one item. One item only, and that's the Novice Spellbook. The Novice Spellbook allows you to cast and create your first spells, and we're going to start with that. For that we need one iron tool of each type, and I'm missing a pickaxe and an axe, which is easily done. There we go. And with this we get the achievement Unbreaking 10, because everything we do with the spellbook has no durability or anything like that. So, in the top left area of my screen you can see a mana bar. That is only there if I have the Novo spellbook equipped. This mana is not the same that we need for iron spells and spellbook, so it really has no use for me that I have 1326 mana for irons. It doesn't help me with Ars Noveau at all. If I open the spellbook, it looks like this. And you can see I have 10 slots I can use for spells, and all the spells are things that I can create myself. There's 3 things I can put in a spell. The first is a form that decides how the spell looks and feels like. So for example, if I went with touch and break as an effect, I can see how much mana it costs. I can give the spell a name, let's call it break, and as soon as I click create, I now have a break spell. And a break spell does exactly what you would assume, it breaks things. Currently it just breaks things up to iron level, so no obsidian, but the spell can be modified in many ways. So this is probably the easiest spell you can create. The other typical first spell you would have is Projectile Harm, which also costs quite a bit of mana at the beginning and does a little damage to enemies. What I want to create is spells I don't have the effects on yet. That means I have to create new effects, and if I take a look at Ars, there is something called glyphs, and a lot of them. These glyphs can either give me more effects or can change existing effects. For example, the glyph of Amplify can increase the break spell I just created to obsidian level. So I can break obsidian with it, like with a diamond pickaxe. Instantly, yes, but for a lot of mana. So how do I get new glyphs? I can either find glyphs randomly based on treasure, not very typical, or I can use something called a scribe's table. And this is the next thing we need, and this is what we need Arkwood for. So we found that Arkwood forest. I already harvested a little of Arkwood at the very beginning, so I do have a good bunch of Arkwood there. Let's get a few planks and a few slabs, and then we can craft the scribe's table. The scribe's table is similar to the inscription table here from Iron Spells and Spellbook, so let's find a nice place to put it down. And I think I put it... oh wait, these are all walls pointed inwards. Let me think, maybe behind here. So, that's the scribe's table, and I'm a little too short to look at it properly. And with this, we can create new glyphs. So if I take my spellbook and right-click the table, I can see all the glyphs here, and you can see there's tier 1 glyphs, tier 2 glyphs, and tier 3 glyphs. So on tier 3, we can create things like summon Vex, or lightning, or summon undead, or the typical evoker fangs, something like that. Some really powerful stuff. Even a glide spell that creates an elytra for us. Tier 2 is also really useful, and tier 1 is pretty much the basics. even though some of those are really useful in any way or form. If I create a spell for a tier that is higher than the tier of my book, I can't use the glyph. So, not useful for me right now, but I really want to get a few glyphs here, and the first one being the glyph of Mage Light. If I can't find the glyph directly, I can just type it in, and here is Conjure Mage Light, and you can see it requires 3 levels, and also a lantern and a torch. If I select this, it says toss items as they appear above to complete crafting. So let's get a lantern and a torch and toss them on here, and now you can see a new glyph is being written and dropped in my inventory. As soon as I right click this glyph, I unlocked the glyph of Mage Light, and now I can go into my book and say I want to create a new spell, for example, Touch Conjure Mage Light. I call this light, and I can also go into the color picker and say I want my Mage Lights to be pink or red or blue. And I think I'm going with blue for all my spells because I like blue. Now I can summon small little magical lights just wherever I click. This is the basics of Ars Noveau. But every effect can be created in different ways. So this is Touch Mage Light to create a light source. I can also create Self Mage Light to give myself night vision. And now I get 30 seconds of night vision whenever I click my book. And with this, I can go ahead and create a few more spells. As you can see, I've created some of the glyphs I wanted beforehand. So I do have a break spell, which is currently only touch and break. I want to change it to projectile, and I also want to augment it with extract and pickup. For extract, it says the current spellbook is not powerful enough. So that means I need to upgrade my spellbook. For the second, I just want a self-craft that allows me to just create a crafting table wherever I am, just like that. And for the third spell, I have my self-light, and I want to extend this with extend time so that it just keeps on longer and I don't need to recast it as often. So for this also I need to exchange my book for the next stage, which is not too difficult at the current stage, because if I take a look, it's just an obsidian, 3 diamonds, 2 blocks of quartz and 2 blaze rods, which I all have on hand. With this I upgraded to the second level of Magecraft, so I can extend this for break, extract, pickup, and that allows me to just break pretty much everything other than obsidian. Extract is applying silk touch, and item pickup, well, brings directly to my inventory. And for light, I can just put in a lot of extend time. You can see it drains a lot more mana now, but if I use light now, it keeps on for 1.5 minutes, which is quite nifty to have. So, with my spellbook in one hand and my wand in the other, let's go and dig some tunnel. And I think I'm just going in right over here and just going to break into this mountain and see if I can find an ancient city. So let's go in this way, go down a little bit, and let's see where we end up. Oh, by the way, I also created a diamond backpack with 3 stack upgrades, an advanced pickup upgrade, and an advanced compacting upgrade, which I can now, let me go to the pickup. I can say pick up all the cobblestone, dirt and gravel that I get. And you can see I can store a lot in each slot. I can store up to 512 items in one slot. So it takes a while until this backpack gets full. Let's see what we find here. Oh, that looks like a lot of skulk. That looks good. It gets dark. Let's do the sneaky sneak. I know teleport doesn't make any sounds, which is nice. So I can just teleport around. But it goes down further and further. And there's a Skulk Shrieker, which doesn't like me, so I'm going to destroy that one. And also all the sensors around here, which are a lot. Oh, I think that looks good. Let's go for light. I think I might have found an ancient city. Let's see if I can find some chests. Just teleporting around. And these things, these ancient knowledge fragments, are exactly what I'm after, because 8 of those around an echo chart will get me an Eldritch manuscript, and an Eldritch manuscript will allow me to learn 1 Eldritch spell. So, let's see if I can get some more of those without attracting too many wardens. Some enchanted books, some books overall. That's some good loot. I like that. You probably have more idea on where I can find chests than I have myself, so I found the Ring of Invisibility. Can I wear this? Does it make me invisible? No, it's just an invisible ring. Well, that's useless. For now, I'll just shove it all in the system, see what I can find. Believe me or not, this is actually my first time going around in a ancient city in survival mode. Probably explains why I'm so very bad at it. And there we have a warden. And he doesn't like me. All right. This was, well, a very fast death. Let's get over there and see if I can recover my stuff. At least I think monsters will not spot me while I'm in, well, death form. And I have slow falling, which is nice. Which is very nice. And here I am, and let's get away. I really don't like the warden. Can I cast Earthquake from over here? Yeah, I can. But it can also attack me from there. Oh, holy shit. I'm already nearly dead. This beast is very fast. Alright, one very quick recall spell later and I'm back home with the... in essence, I tried to not die again. I well, found the Deep Dark. I got a bunch of stuff. Let's see if it's enough. I do have a total of 8 ancient knowledge fragments and a total of 1 echo shard. Did I only get 1 echo shard? I only got 1 echo shard. Oh well. That means in total I can get exactly 1 Eldritch Manuscript. So with this Eldritch Manuscript, I can now choose 1 of 6 spells. I can choose from Telekinesis, reach out with a spectral force and grip a creature, forcing them towards your gaze. Creatures are susceptible to kinetic damage, which pretty much allows me to lift creatures up and slam them to the ground, which is quite neat. I can get Eldritch Blast, which fires a ray of pure devastating energy, or a Sonic Boom, which is exactly what the Warden does, passing through solid material with ease and harming the first creature in its path. I can get Abyssal Shroud, which cloaks myself in the shadow of the abyss, granting the ability to evade any attack for a short period of time, which is also quite nice. I could get Planar Sight, shifts your vision between planes, gaining the ability to see creatures through solid material. Or Skulk Tentacles, from where you look erupt a mass of Skulk energy in the form of wailing tentacles, damaging and blinding enemies caught in chaos. All of these are like incredibly strong. And to be honest, while I went on this adventure to gain one of these abilities, I really don't know which one. I don't think I can learn, or I don't think I have a skill tree for the Eldritch. No, I only have one for each of the elemental ones. Which means that I'm not going to get any points that I can spec into, for example, spell power. Maybe it would be a good idea to go for one of the utility ones. I think Telekinesis might be a great thing. Planar Sight is quite nice. Abyssal Shroud also. I think I'm going for Telekinesis. This spell is already learned. And from now on, I think I can craft them on the Scroll Forge with an Echo Shard. Yeah, down here with an Echo Shard and an ink, I can get myself a Telekinesis Scroll. The sad thing is I only got one echo shard while I was down there, so I need to go back down to get any more of that. So I got a bunch of stuff. At some point I got a message that something was finished here in the colony. Probably this residence over there. And with this, I would say another adventure goes to an end. Next time we will continue building up the colony and diving into the mountain to get some riches. In which form? I don't know yet. Let's see for the next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed. This is Guilford signing off. Bye bye.